right, so this is our 2021 Rubicon. We've had this now for, what, about 5 months? Yeah, I think about 5 months. Just turned 5,000 miles on it. So far, we haven't had any real problems with it at all. I had one little glitch where the backup camera didn't work for a few days, but it just kind of fixed itself. I don't know what the deal was there, but we haven't had any problems since. But if you remember our last Jeep, we had a 2017 Sahara, and it was in that Gobi color, which is usually I like earth tones, and so do Melissa, but we kind of like this. We went all out on this one. I think they call this Snazberry, and I think it looks really nice, but this is the last time you're going to see this Jeep like it is. Tomorrow, we're going to kind of do some upgrades on it. We're taking it to a place, we'll end up doing a video up there, but we're going to put 35-inch tires on it, the JKS 3.5-inch lift, and a few other things. I won't tell you everything we're going to do just yet, but it'll probably lift this Jeep, because these tires are actually 33s, but the 35s that we're going to put on will be a little bit taller, a lot wider, with the 3.5-inch lift. The roof line's probably going to be about 6 inches higher than what it is right now. And it's just something that we like to do. The first Jeep we had, we didn't do anything with it at all. Left it stock. The second one, we did put that 3.5-inch JKS lift on it. And we liked it a lot. It rode really nice. And so we're going to do the same with this one. And you'll see that here in a few days. But yeah, this will be the last that you see this Jeep. It's going to look a lot different. It will. Now, one thing worth a mention about this Jeep, like I said, the only problem that I've had so far was that camera, and it kind of fixed itself. But if you're looking to get a Jeep, I can't speak for all of them, but these new ones, it's a lot more comfortable than the 2017 we had. But I do think the steering in this one is a little bit squirrely compared to the last one. You know, all Jeeps are like that. They're designed for off-road use, but you just kind of seem to be adjusting quite a bit with your steering. Nothing real bad, but something to keep in mind. So if you've never had a Jeep before, you know, definitely take it for a test drive at different speeds and see if it's something that you're okay with. It's not bad. I'm just saying it's something to keep in mind. So Melissa, she likes the new Jeep, but she actually misses the old one, and I think a lot of that has to do with because the old one was lifted. That's what's nice about these, and like Broncos that we're waiting on, is you can kind of personalize them. But what do you like about this one so far?
I like the color, and I like the seats. They're very comfortable compared to the others. This is an automatic, so that's fine too. I did like the other. It was a manual transmission. I did like that. But the dashboard and the sound system, they just kind of revamped it a little bit, and it's handier, more suitable.
Yeah, and one thing too, get around that other side. I will say one thing, whether it be air conditioning or heat, these vents are right here, and they will cook you out, but I know, like when Eva's driving it, she always has these closed because the air conditioner's blowing right on you. And the same with the heat. I kind of like them where they're at, and I think they're pretty good. But yeah, I think the dash and everything looks nice. Definitely an upgrade from the 2017, and the seats are real nice as well. It's just a little bit more comfortable. But what do you think about the steering, Melissa? It is just a little bit squirrely. What do you think?
The steering, yeah, something doesn't, I can't describe it to...
You're adjusting a lot.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when you go to park and when you go to leave a parked position, there's a clicking in the front.
I have heard that.
So I'm not exactly sure what it is. I haven't been able to, you know, be positive about anything, but it's just I can hear that clicking, and then when I'm driving, I can feel myself adjusting. I noticed that when we were teaching our 16-year-old daughter to drive, and we were using this Jeep, and she was mentioning it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You're 16, you don't know what you're talking about.
You're learning to drive. Yeah, you'll get used to it. Until it was my turn to drive the Jeep, and I'm like, you know what? She's right. So just something is on my radar of not sure why that's happening. Another thing is the tops are lighter and easier to take out. You're able to maneuver with one person pulling out the tops, and I like that. The bag is also easy for the tops to go in. And if you want to see a video on that, go to Morgan's Off the Leash and you can watch that on my channel.
Yeah, Melissa we took the whole roof off. These, I think they call these Freedom panels, but they pop right out and they are definitely lighter than the last one. But yeah, once we get it, we'll look at the weather. Once we get it back from wheels and tires and everything, we may take the top off again. It's one thing nice about new vehicles not going into drive unless your foot's on the brake is when you have Ty in here wrenching on everything he can get his hands on. Huh, Ty? So if you saw the last video, you know I finished this, placing all this stone around here. I could use a few little pieces here and there to fill in by hand, which I'll take care of. But now I got to clean up what's left here. What I did, I just separated out the bigger stuff. It's over there behind the excavator. And everything else you see here, I'm just going to kind of pile it up over in that corner over there right next to the tree line. I'll end up using this somewhere for some rock line ditches or down at the pond or whatever. But it's going to take almost as long to clean all this up as it did to place all this. All right, I'm getting it. I've got a bunch more to go. I think what I'm going to do is put that 4-foot grading bucket on the excavator and start pulling this stuff this way and use both the excavator and the tractor. It's really hard to get a full bucket full with the tractor, this real big heavy limestone. All right, I'm getting there. I still have just a little bit left here and here, but I can use the excavator, that bucket, to pull it off that bank. We'll have to seed a little bit right here, no big deal. But I got everything off the road and cleaned up pretty good. So let me tell you about the saga of the 2A limestone. First, got to pick this up. So as most of you know, over the last 6 to 8 months, I bought a lot of stone for here on the property, mostly to go all around this building. It's a big area. I like to stay out of the mud. Well, I like using 2A limestone to kind of top everything off. And here in Pennsylvania, 2A limestone is 1.5 inches down to dust. And what that does, it packs really well, gets nice and hard, and it's a good product to use for that. Well, a while back, I ordered a load of 2A limestone, and they delivered it. And it was real brown. There was a lot of dirt mixed in with it, and I didn't really complain. I just kind of brought it to their attention. I said, hey, this last load was really dirty. So the next load that they sent, they got from a different quarry. Now that quarry, the rock that came from there, it was definitely real gray. It wasn't brown, and there were plenty of fines in it. But instead of 1.5 inches down to dust, it was more like 3 inch down to dust, maybe even 3.5 with some 4s mixed in there. It wasn't real good quality rock. And I got 2 loads of that. You could use it. It worked out okay, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So once again, I didn't really complain. I just kind of brought it to their attention and said, you know, I really don't want that rock from the last place you got it from. It was like 3 inch down to dust instead of 1.5 inches down to dust. And I said, I want regular 2A limestone, like PA certified, ODOT approved 2A limestone. And they sent me this. Now it's definitely gray, but I knew right away when I saw it in the driveway, I wasn't here when they dumped it, that this wasn't what I wanted, wasn't what I was asking for. You can tell this pile is physically larger than like 22 tons of 2A limestone, and that is because there's hardly any fines at all in here. I mean, this is good rock, but it won't pack, it's not what I wanted. You know what I mean? It's just not. I mean, it'll be fine, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not what I wanted. If this was like on a state job, they'd reject this load of stone because it doesn't have enough fines in it. Nowhere near the amount of fines is what 2A limestone should have. So I really don't know what the problem is, why you can't get just, you know, PennDOT certified 2A limestone like you used to. Maybe it's because I'm just like an individual, not a big company. I know when I worked in oil and gas and we were ordering stone for well pads, and I mean like 4 or 5, even 6,000 tons of stone for each pad. We were pretty particular about what we wanted, and we usually got what we wanted. But lately, I've been having a rough time from my supplier getting what I asked for, and I'm just not sure what the problem is. So I'm going to call tomorrow and once again kind of bring this to their attention, but it's just not right. It's expensive nowadays. You know, you're looking at $500 a load for this stone, even a little bit more than that. And I mean, years ago, it was like $220 a load. For years, it was the same price. And if I ordered 2A limestone, it all looked the same. It was the same product time and time again. And now it seems every time I order something, it's different. And I either need to find a different supplier, but they all come from the same different quarries. So I really don't know what to do or what the problem is, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, this video wasn't really about limestone. It was about this Jeep. And in a few days, it's going to look much, much different than what you see here. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all being here and watching our videos. And like I always say, if you enjoyed these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.